I've watched the last couple streams of you playing Mass Effect 3, and it's been great. And your reactions to things have been great. And now that car time has been left well in the dust, I'm
Yeah.
just it's been great watching you get into Mass Effect, which is something I have loved and held dearly since I first
I'm
started playing it a decade
I'm at
ago.
I've ordered the second book. We are at that phase.
Oh shit!
I have finished the first book. It is very good. It covers something they briefly touch on in the games and expands on it. And it even introduces characters that show up in the later games.
That's also true of the graphic novels that I have, which is great because I know you played the Omega DLC, and I said as much. But those monsters that are unique to that DLC, yeah,
Yeah.
introduced in the graphic novel
Huh.
for before any of that happened. So
The adjutants.
the adjutants. That's right. It's been a
Um,
little while since I've read them. There is a graphic novel that explains the origin of the Elusive Man during the First Contact War.
so there's been a vote. I've put out a vote on what I'm gonna play after Mass Effect 3, and people have voted for Cyberpunk 2077, and I am gonna do that.
Okay,
We are gonna get a full Cyberpunk 2077 playthrough out of me.
good.
Apparently, like, people are just really fucking into that game right now.
It's kind of a big deal.
They've released so many patches, and apparently there's a Netflix show that is apparently really good.
Is there already a Netflix show of it?
Yeah, there's a Netflix animated series called Edge Runners that people
Oh,
are apparently really, really into, and
okay.
it's driven up interest in the game like crazy. They've patched
Uh-huh.
in stuff from the show into the game.
That's crazy. Wow.
And like
Wow.
Cyberpunk 2077, people are talking about it. It went from like no one playing it to like there've been like a million concurrent players in like the past like week or so.
Holy shit.
So yeah, I'm probably gonna play Cyberpunk 2077 on the stream, but I also do own Mass Effect Andromeda now. And I have, okay, here's the thing. I've read a lot because I sort of had an idea of what I'd be getting into, but I wanted to know. um and the decision has been made. I'm going to play Mass Effect Andromeda.
Okay.
I
This is
have been
good because someone has to, because I
I have
haven't.
been warned, and I've watched a few videos that are like in defense of Mass Effect Andromeda.
Okay.
Um
So looking at the
so
people who aren't just the naysayers.
So here's probably going to be the hardest thing for me to get over. Most of the game is car time,
Oh shit. Okay, now you have to play it because man, car time.
but here's the thing: they've centered the game around car time, and the thing people I've seen like when they're saying positive things about Andromeda is like the car is actually fun to drive.
Well, when you're actually building your game engine around car time, it's
Yeah,
different. Because
and,
like
and
in
you're
Mass
not,
Effect
and
1,
you're
it
not,
just feels like you're
and
killing
you're
time
not,
driving through huge empty spaces where nothing happens.
and you're not driving a giant wheeled turtle.
That's true. That will flip over on a moment's notice.
Yeah. All I can say is for the Legendary Edition, one of the things they advertised for it is they made the Mako better, and I'd never want to play the non-Legendary Edition of Mass Effect now.
Yeah, you didn't have to suffer as I did in 2007 with the original car time. The
because
Mako was
because
garbage.
upgraded car time still fucking sucks.
You can only do so much to polish a turd. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's
Um,
it BioWare did their best. It wasn't good enough, but you know what? At
I
least there's a minimum of car time you have to do in Mass Effect 1, and it never shows up again unless you count the hovercraft in Mass Effect 2, which is DLC. And
yeah.
the hovercraft is much better.
Oh, I played that DLC.
Yeah,
It's better, but the stuff they do with it is so boring.
it really is. Like,
It it I I'm so glad I did not play that on stream as I initially intended to,
uh,
because I just like silently sat there and like as angry as Mako car time made me feel, hovercraft car time made me feel nothing.
that's like the opposite of like planet scanning when you're just kind of chilling and
Yeah,
listening to the cool music and gathering
I
resources and
uh I for planet scanning, when I was doing it off stream, I would eat an edible, and, and I literally would like put on music, put on like really slow like doom metal and like and like clutch and stoner metal and just like meditate and planet scan.
That's genuinely nice, honestly.
Yeah, it was pretty great.
The scanning in Mass Effect 2 is weirdly zen-like, even when you're not, on a substance. Honestly, I really enjoyed it.
I liked it. I know a lot of people thought it was tedious, and I totally get it.
But it's a nice break from bang bang zoom zoom.
Yeah.
But the thing in Mass Effect is a lot of that, mostly in character development. Welcome to Undercooked Analysis, where we gush about Mass Effect.
Yeah. I have a whole game to get through. I have all of Mass Effect 3 to get through.
There's a lot of Mass Effect 3
before I make my ranking decision. But a video game series has never gotten its hooks in me like this one has.
I sort of watched from the start of this to now. I have seen the shift. It's fascinating. The fact that you now, I see pictures of you just candidly regularly with that N7 hoodie is like a sure sign. And I think that's really cool, honestly. Like welcome to the fold, brother. Like, this is a good fucking series.
So there's a Tally body pillow. And like there's like there's two sides of me on that.
Well, there's usually two sides of Tali on a pillow too. So
yes. Like the one side is like, ha, that's funny, and like I'd buy that and have it as an ironic thing. And the other side is, Alan, only you would understand that it is irony that has caused you to make this purchase. Anyone else who comes over and sees your Tally body pillow is gonna have questions.
I have one very important question I have is she got her mask on or her mask off?
Mask on. I can send you a link.
Oh Lord. Okay.
There is this is the official BioWare store, by the way.
Wait, this is an official BioWare store thing?
Yes. And
BioWare, you sons of bitches. Holy shit.
They have a Thane one.
Okay, good. Equal opportunity. I get that. I mean, they literally, keep in mind, I have the Art of Mass Effect book, and they literally, I'm so sorry, everybody. We'll get to the story, I promise. They literally have a design document that said, we designed Thane to be a sexy male alien. That was our goal. We were like workshopping the Drell to be like sexy male aliens, because we already did that with the Asari, and it seemed really one-sided. So we're going to make the sexy male aliens, and those are the Drell. And Thane in particular, well, look, not only is he a beautiful assassin, but he's also sensitive and damaged, and
he's a bad boy.
He's a bad boy, but he's got a
heart. Oh,
he's repentant, and he's dying of a terminal illness. Like, is that spoilers? That's spoilers. Anyway,
I mean, not for me, but anyone listening.
Oh no, Matt, it's a game that's been out for like a decade now, gang. Like, seriously. And it's not like you don't learn that early on from Thane in Mass Effect 2 if you get to know him. And you should, because he's great. Anyway, send me them links while I set up what we're doing, because as much as I'd love to keep going on about this, and maybe sometime we should just do Alan and David talk about Mass Effect for like 3 hours straight after. You know what? I'm going to call it right now. We should do, like, after you wrap Mass Effect 3, but before you do Andromeda, we should just talk Mass Effect 3 or Mass Effect in general. What do you think?
Yep.
Okay. You know what? These are legit.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the Tali one a little more closely.
The Thane one is on sale, and it's like $9.
That's, you know what? Yeah.
the Tali one is $35.
Well, of course, because I mean,
and they just announced the Liara one.
I'm surprised they didn't have Liara right away.
Oh yeah, Liara. There was a moment last night I was playing when I had Liara and Edie in my party, and I was like, well, I'm a space marine, and I've got a hot alien and hot robot counterpart. This is everything I wanted when I was 14. So,
Edie body pillow win though.
And as much as I joke about that, I have real problems with everyone wanting to fuck the robot.
but Alan, Saeed body pillow win.
In canon, I mean, not like in real life. People are gonna want to fuck whatever they want to fuck. I mean, within the Mass Effect universe, the fact that everyone was immediately so thirsty for the robot.
Everybody is very, very thirsty in Mass Effect. Let's just agree on that. Preamble aside, I have a story for you that is about something else you like, Alan.
Cool.
Yeah, it's about wrestling.
Sweet. That is a thing I like.
Yeah. This was sent to us by our old friend Daniel, aka Urkelbot666. According to Dan, he's been catching up on some UCA and enjoying what we've been putting out there. And he says, I figured I'd chuck some words your way for consideration. I'll post a few things here and there so you can see if they seem like a decent fit. All stuff I've written, so no worries there. This is apparently a contest entry that didn't pan out, and he specifically tagged it as wrestling with an exclamation point. And the story is called Bobwire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I would love to keep talking about Mass Effect still, and maybe we'll break into it every so often because this is just what we do on this podcast.
Yeah.
But
yeah, I hope everyone's ready for just lots of talk of Mass Effect from now on.
From now on.
Not maybe for the rest of this episode, but
no, for the entirety of UCA going forward whenever me and Alan are on an episode. Or even just me or Alan.
Welcome to Undershimp Analysis.
Saturday Night Shepherd, check it out on Twitch with Nanas O'Neill. I'm going to plug it right now. We'll plug it again at the end. Nate was shivering. His skin and guts felt cold, even though the gymnasium was hot and stuffy. He wanted to go outside. He wanted to go home. Dad was standing next to him, having fun. Nate tried to pretend he was having fun. It didn't work.
People all around were shouting and laughing and saying a lot of bad words. Poop. Everyone was around just shouting poop.
One person was bold and said fecal matter.
And Nate was afraid he'd get in trouble for hearing them. Mostly he looked at the floor and hummed the song from the Star Trek cartoon. That show was really old. It was quiet and boring, and he liked watching it when he was at his mom's.
You know, Mass Effect's really good at doing that Star Trek thing too, where like even the quote unquote quiet, boring moments are just you talking to the characters, and they have such good dialogue because the script writing is so fucking great. Hey, remember when Morden sang Pirates of Penzance?
I do remember when Morden sang Pirates of Penzance, and then they called back to it in Mass Effect 3.
There's going to be more of that too. I don't want to give spoilers, but you'll get to hear Morden sing more.
Good.
Yeah.
Anyway, this story.
Yeah, sorry. A loud crash, then roars of joyous screams. Nate's dad kneeled and said, holy crap, did you see that, buddy? Nate hadn't, but nodded that he had. Dad's breath smelled like beer. Sometimes that relaxed Nate, but here and now, it just stung his nose. Watch this, it's going to be awesome. So this is clearly not professional wrestling, considering they're in a gymnasium, right?
I mean, that's difficult to explain. This is still professional wrestling?
Well, okay. We don't know what the wrestling quite is yet. Right?
Right. No, but like, okay, getting into it. Amateur wrestling is just real wrestling.
Right.
That's like collegiate wrestling and stuff like that.
Right.
The term professional wrestling covers everything from what you see on television to people wrestling in a bingo hall.
Bingo hall wrestling.
Like if the wrestling is fake, it's professional wrestling.
No, that's for everybody in the back.
Yeah. Nate raised his head and looked at the ring in the center of the gymnasium. It wasn't bright and colorful like the one on TV. The ropes were black and the mat was stained and ripped. The people wrestling didn't look like TV wrestlers either. Some of them looked like heavy metal people, and some of them looked like dads. Oh man, he's at a hardcore show.
Shit.
They weren't muscly, and they just wore jeans and t-shirts. Yeah, trash bag wrestlers.
Oh boy. This reminds me of I should link this to you because this is fun, but it's for everyone else. I found this thing. It was Am I the Asshole wrestling matches where they'd use is it WWE 22K22 or WW? I think that's the game.
The newest one, yeah.
The newest one, yeah. So they make wrestlers and then they have the computer wrestlers fight each other, but each wrestler represents one end of the am I the asshole argument, and that's how they determine who's the asshole. So it's a whole thing where they read the two people who set it up. This is through a channel called Snapcube. They do like the Sonic the Hedgehog fan dubs and other fan dubs and stuff. Like they just do one take. Anyway, if you've ever heard Eggman yelling about pissing on the moon, it's through them. Anyway,
quick aside.
Yeah,
about 2K22.
Yeah.
Hey everyone. That's going to be a thing that happens on my Twitch stream soon.
I'm not surprised.
There's a My Career mode where you can create your own character, and I was going to create myself under the wrestling persona Nanas O'Neill.
Yes.
And we would see the story of my wrestling career.
I want to see this for sure. Holy shit.
It
looks like it's a pretty robust talent creator too. You know what I mean? Like,
I'm going to try and pick up the game when it's on sale. I have not played any of the new WWE games for reasons. I don't want to give them money, but
I understand that. Wait till it goes on sale and then you don't give them money as much. Or
I will be on my moral high horse on another forum regarding the WWE, but we shall continue.
Fair enough. Sorry. Oh yeah, rip his goddamn face off. Oh, sorry, bud. Nate's dad tousled Nate's hair as the boy gazed into the ring. Two men were fighting, both with blood on their faces. A big hairy man was scraping a skinny bald guy's forehead with a tangle of the stuff that keeps cows from going onto the road. Bobwire, Nate thought. He's cutting the bald guy with bobwire. He's gonna kill him.
This is kind of relatable as someone who's brought non-wrestling fans to wrestling shows. And sometimes that works out great and they're really entertained, but sometimes you bring them to local wrestling shows and people are smashing light tubes and shit all over each other, and yep.
Oh yeah, I mean I wondered about that because at a certain point, like with certain shows, is it harder to discern the marks from the
kinda, yeah. But no, like if anytime I bring someone to like a professional like an AEW show or anything like that, they're into it. But yeah, local wrestling can be a little rough sometimes.
Yeah, I'm gathering that. This feels particularly rough, I guess.
Yeah, no, this feels very authentic. Dudes with dad bods in like jeans and t-shirts, not paying for their own like gear and shit like that. And yep.
I like that he's calling it bobwire instead of barbed wire.
Yeah,
that's a neat touch.
All around, people cheered and stomped. The hairy man rolled out onto the floor, and for a second, Nate was sure that the man was going to cut him with the barbed wire. His eyes got hot and his toes clenched. The man just shouted to the crowd, lifted the fabricy part on the side of the ring, and pulled something from under it. "Oh yeah, here we go," Nate's dad said.
It was a shit ton of pineapple.
Oh no.
pineapple overload.
Pineapple overload. Listen to Dregs.
Listen to Dregs. The hairy man was holding a big bundle of light bulbs. Holy shit, you called it.
Yeah.
The long ones that buzz like they have in the hospital.
Light tubes.
Nate hated the hospital. I mean, who doesn't hate the hospital? The hairy one laid the lights in the ring. The bald guy stood again, blood pouring from his face. Nate remembered a time his mom had gotten a bloody nose. It bled so much, Nate was scared that all her blood might come out. He didn't know how much of it was in a person. The bald guy was bleeding even more than she had. Nate was sure he'd die. He bled more after the hairy man broke a light over his face.
So
fucking savage.
I do not know how young Nate is, but as someone who has it himself, so I don't mean this in an insulting way. It seems like Nate perhaps has a touch of the tism.
Yeah, I'm feeling that a bit too.
What struck me was the like humming a song to try and like take your mind away from what's happening.
Yeah, I absolutely get that.
It's a thing I've done.
I admittedly have done that too.
I am on the spectrum.
Mhm.
So yeah.
I cannot confirm or deny with me, but I've long suspected. Yeah, you never know. I mean, I think it's a spectrum for a reason, you know.
Yeah.
So it explains
like sexuality.
Yeah, exactly. The fact that we are in a super weird niche podcast sphere like this, I think accounts for some of that too. You never know. Yeah. Anyway, I just read the last one, right? So already.
Yes. Yes. The hairy man did a suplex.
That's great out of context.
Nate knew that move from TV, throwing his opponent onto the pile of lights across the ring. They shattered and dust flew everywhere. The crowd started chanting, "Holy shit!" And again, holy shit chants are a thing in wrestling.
Oh man, Dan did his research.
Holy shit, holy shit. There's like holy shit and you fucked up, and Nate tried not to listen. The hairy man rolled out to the floor again, and Nate could smell him. He smelled like wet rust. After pulling a table with foldy legs from beneath the ring and sliding it under the ropes, he screamed something into the audience. Nate felt his stomach tighten and he cringed away.
I have to go to the bathroom, Nate said, tugging his dad's shirt.
Later, okay? You're going to love this.
What an asshole dad. Okay. Nate tried again to hum the Star Trek cartoon theme.
Dad, I'm only into New Japan matches. Where's the work rate? This is nothing like Savage Steamboat at Mania. Meltzer would hate this. Okay. Those jokes are for a certain section of people who are going to think they are very funny.
The New Japan thing got me. I was tempted to try and throw one out there myself based on my limited knowledge, and then I thought better of it. And the only thing that came to my head was Danhausen. Anyway,
man, Meltzer would hate this unless it was in the Tokyo Dome. Anyway.
Okay, Nate tried to hum the Star Trek cartoon theme, but it was too loud and chaotic to concentrate. I was going to say, kind of based on what Reed said earlier, I saw people make comments about. So I just watched Nope recently for the first time.
Yeah,
I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, it was very good.
And OJ, one of our main pro tags, people keep wondering why he seems so like disconnected and melancholy throughout the movie.
I also thought that where you're going with this.
Yeah. Like me and Kayla were discussing is like, I think he's coded to be kind of like that. He rarely ever looks people in the eye. Like it makes sense, you know?
Yep.
And honestly, I think that's kind of cool. You can interpret that a lot of different ways, but to me, it felt like he had that kind of energy. That's all I'm saying.
Yep.
Yeah. And I can relate just in the fact that sometimes I have to think about making eye contact with people. We're getting really real with this one about certain things.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's something I'm coming to terms with more recently. I'm like, yeah, sometimes I have to concentrate looking people in the eye. It's getting better, but yeah, it is something I actually have to think about on occasion.
I have to make a mental effort to look people in the eyes. The hairy man was now gouging the bald guy's forehead with a fork.
Jesus.
That's a thing. Hey everyone, Abdullah the Butcher and Bruiser Brody.
This is why I deliberately saved this one until you could be on the show. We could talk about this one.
Thick blood trickled off his nose and stained his teeth. He was dying. Okay, I really like this idea. The idea of like deathmatch wrestling being shown to a child who, again, is possibly autistic, and them interpreting it as like, oh, I'm watching an actual murder happening.
Yeah, there's horror here. It's very specific, but I like it. This is really good.
He was dying. Nate knew it. Murder was happening. He wondered why no one was calling the police. You were supposed to do that when stuff like this happened. Police came when Mom got the bloody nose, and this looked way worse. Oh shit.
No. Oh, geez. No wonder his dad feels like such a degenerate. Honestly, well, not that being into this or whatever. It's just more like the fact that he's.
I was literally about to say hashtag not all wrestling fans.
No, I was going to say it's not him going and enjoying this. It's the fact that he dragged his potentially autistic child to see this.
Yeah, no,
that's what I mean.
Yeah,
please understand, because I paused for a moment, like, Wait, that's going to be interpreted very badly if I don't. Let me explain. Hashtag not all wrestling fans. Hashtag bad dads are universal in most spheres. Anyway, not that bad. No, again, not that there's universally bad dads. Fuck. Okay.
It's fine, buddy. I got it.
Okay. Nate closed his eyes, but somehow only hearing what was happening made it worse. The grunts and screams from the men in the ring cut through the darkness and pierced his mind. Nate could hear more cheering voices, men and women, old voices and young voices, shouting, laughing, demanding pineapple. Unable to, on pineapple overload. Unable to anticipate the sound, the slapping wallop of the ring mat sent hot shocks through his spine with every impact. His mind raced, creating a more horrific scene than the one he wanted to black out. He opened his eyes after less than a minute. Whoo! I will say, it probably looked, for him too, I'm thinking about this, probably looks worse than it actually is, because a lot of these are like head injuries, and like if you bleed from the head from even minor stuff, it looks way, way worse.
Oh yeah. That's what blading's all about.
Mm-hmm.
For those who don't know, professional wrestlers will often conceal a small piece of razor blade on their person during a match, and when they are out of view, generally of everyone else, they will create a small incision on their forehead. It is a very small incision, but it will bleed like crazy.
That's dedication. I can't imagine going at any part of myself with a small razor blade.
But that's blading.
That's some serious, you know, that again, like the more I learn about this from like people like you and Matt, like the more I appreciate how far people will go to make it look good.
Yeah.
Make it look convincing. And that's dedication. I respect that.
If you look at the foreheads of some wrestlers, old school wrestlers who are around for a long time, like Dusty Rhodes, his forehead looks like someone's taken a cheese grater to it.
Oh God.
And yeah.
Holy shit.
Just from years and years and years of blading.
Right. Jesus.
The hairy man.
That's here in this corner, the hairy man. Could you imagine that was your title?
Was dumping something sparkly onto the table he set up. Nate squinted his eyes and realized that what was falling out of the bag the man held was a bunch of thumbtacks. Hey, this is also a real thing. And no, there are no such thing as gimmick thumbtacks.
Oh, geez.
You just get put into the thumbtacks and it sucks. I can direct you to Chris Jericho telling a story about thumbtacks being used in a match. Not the plastic colory ones like the blue one that held the picture of Nate and his mom and dad to the wall by his bed at mom's house, but the flat metal ones like at school. Nate had seen them in the store. You could buy them 50 or 100 at a time in little boxes at CVS. He couldn't tell how many boxes the hairy man would have to buy. All Nate could think of was it's a gallon of thumbtacks. He knew you didn't count solid stuff in gallons, but that was all his mind could equate it to.
I love that. A gallon of thumbtacks.
Yep.
I guess in your mind, I mean, I would just say like, that's a fuck ton of thumbtacks.
That is so many thumbtacks.
That's a lot of thumbtacks.
That is more thumbtacks than should probably be here.
Probably. Everyone cheered. Then the hairy guy took a small bottle out of his pants and squirted its contents onto the table.
Oh, we're getting fire.
Nate wasn't sure what was in the bottle. It looked like water. The hairy man took a book of matches from his pocket and struck one, then used it to ignite the entire book. Before Nate knew what was happening, the table was on fire and everything smelled like a cookout.
Yep. Oh, shit, Nate's dad said. I didn't think they'd let them use fire in here. He patted his son's shoulder. Watch this. This is going to be something else.
Is he? Nate stammered, but couldn't articulate what he wanted to say. He didn't even know what he wanted to say.
The people around were chanting, "You sick fuck! You sick fuck!" Also a real thing. And Nate curled his toes in his Velcro sneakers again. Yeah, and Nate's, yep.
Uh-huh.
Because that was the worst word to say. Mom and Dad said it to each other sometimes when they still lived together. Nate watched the hairy man lift the bald guy on his shoulders and climb up the ring ropes in the corner. He shouted another bad word and then jumped off the ropes, throwing the bald guy through the flaming table with the gallon of thumbtacks on it.
Ooh, gallon of flaming thumbtacks.
Sounds to me like a power bomb through the flaming table from the
Ooh.
top rope. And
You know, I used to play bass for flaming thumbtacks.
Yeah. Solid one.
Thank you. Hairy Man rolled away from the dying fire and flopped on top of the bald guy. A referee, who had been outside the ring, ran in and slapped the mat 3 times. Cheers erupted and music blared. The louder it got, the tighter Nate's stomach became. He felt like he might throw up, but he didn't want to. It would be embarrassing in front of so many people, and it always clogged his nose. Yeah, that's almost the worst thing about throwing up, besides throwing up itself, is how it goes too far.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh God.
He looked in the ring at the bald guy, bloody, tacks and shards of. He looked in the ring at the bald guy, bloody, tacks and shards of glass stuck in him. White shirt stained and singed where the fire had briefly caught. Was he moving? He twitched but didn't stir. He was dead. Nate was sure he was dead. Why did they let the other guy kill him? Why was everyone so happy that he was dead? When he woke up, sorry, it scrolled for some reason.
Okay. When he know he's gonna be.
When he woke up this morning, did he know he'd die?
I shouldn't laugh, but that's so good. This is so good. Oh man. How about that? Nate's dad asked, grinning. Nate wanted to return the smile, but he was afraid he might cry if he tried. Come on, let's beat the traffic, Nate's dad said, finishing his cup of beer and dropping it onto the floor. Someone would have to clean it up. Nate nodded, throat too tight to reply.
On the car ride home, Nate said few words. Can you believe that? Amazing. I wish they had this stuff when I was your age. Nate opened his mouth and a creaky yeah emerged. He stared at his feet, dangling above the floor mat, hoping he didn't get car sick. Eventually, his dad put on the radio, and that helped a little.
Nate wondered if his dad had seen other people die like that. Maybe the man wasn't dead. Maybe they were helping him at a hospital with buzzing lights. Nate wasn't sure. He didn't think that the people would have reacted the way they did, so loud, so crazy, if the man hadn't died. Nate's head hurt a little. He looked over at his dad, who was smiling and nodding his head to the radio. Nate wondered what else his dad had seen to be so happy to see the man die. Maybe that stuff just got easier when you grew up. Maybe everything did. Nate hoped so. Ooh, that's sad, man.
Yeah.
This fucking sucks for all parties. And well, not everybody who got to enjoy the show, of course.
Hey, everybody. Alan here, wrestling fan. Quick note. Don't bring your kids to death matches.
Seriously.
Don't do it.
Just don't do it. Listen, all parties involved here are like cool with this. So like,
yeah,
except for this kid. This kid clearly doesn't want to be here.
Yeah, no. Oh.
Like that's part of the understanding going into this. And then you bring this. What a bad dad. What a terrible dad.
Yep.
For all the reasons.
You need to fuck kayfabe. You need to explain to the kid. They need to know the deal.
No matter what.
I'd say it's totally different if you're taking a kid to like a WWE show where, you know, stuff like this is not going to happen. Then go nuts. Yeah. Let him see the superheroes. Let him like the superheroes. Precisely. But like in this scenario, yeah, you got to tell him. Don't bring him.
Yeah. Now, and if anything, just based on the context clues we've gotten before this dad should not have custody of this child.
Yes. Oh yeah.
He is. Goddamn.
That is not a wrestling fan thing. This guy just seems like a very bad father.
That's and I want to express that. What Dan is showing us is we've got the surface level story, and then behind the scenes story we got a shitty abusive dad.
Yeah.
Maybe not abusive to his kid, but definitely kind of not either intentionally or not psychologically abusive to the kid, just by dint of this whole situation not being good and explaining what's going on. But also, you know, the context from before with Nate's memories about his mom and the bloody nose. And yeah. So there's layers to this. I like this one. This is great.
Yeah, the idea of a small child not being able to interpret pro wrestling as fake and thinking they're witnessing an actual murder is a very, very clever, fucked up idea.
Uh-huh. I like the voice a lot with this one. I like the craft. I in terms of freshness ratings, I'll give this a gallon of thumbtacks.
In terms of freshness ratings, I will give this 5 out of 5 possible light tubes.
Dan.
Yeah, and they definitely knew their shit.
Oh, for sure. I mean, Dan, we haven't touched on a lot on Dan's stuff. I mean, we definitely talked about Dan's writing before. After all, Dan's been part of our challenges and such before. But this was cool. It was great to read something from him again. So Urkelbot666, thank you for your submission. If you want to be cool, be cool like Dan, you can send us your stories by emailing us at midnightmarinara@gmail.com. We take a close look at everything that gets sent to us, and we, get into kind of a pseudo queue. It's not the most efficient one, but we get it there. We read what we can when we can. And if you are a patron of ours, we do our best to try and prioritize your work. Since Dan is a patron, so we took a little bit, but we got it there. And if you want to join our Patreon and support us, I'm like literally $1 a month. Every little bit helps. So thank you to our current patrons. And we hope you'll come and join us there too. Patreon.com/midnightmarinara. There's a lot of cool extra stuff there, particularly the choice dregs. If you're wondering what the heck pineapple overload is, you'll find out if you've listened to dregs.
Yes.
In the next week.
And every Saturday I do a Twitch stream. I'm currently playing Mass Effect 3. Only that's not going to be happening this Saturday. What? You know what's going to be happening this Saturday?
I don't know what's happening. Oh, wait, I do know what's happening this Saturday.
Yeah.
Why am I feigning ignorance when I know?
It is the Jameson Tapes movie marathon.
Hell yes.
It will be occurring the day after my birthday. So it's a birthday party for me. I'm going to be brewing up some cocktails, and we're going to be on a live stream, and we're going to be watching 3 public domain horror films.
What public domain horror films are those, Alan?
Those movies are going to be The Tingler, starring Vincent Price, Spider Baby, starring Lon Chaney Jr.,
Ooh.
and Jesse James Meets Frankenstein's Daughter, starring I don't fucking know. I just saw the name of that movie and decided we had to watch it.
Perfect. This all sounds very good. And of course, check out the other podcasts here on the Creative Horror Network, shows like the Jameson Tapes, like Darkly Lit, like The Witching Hour, Midnight Marinara, Trick or Track. We have a lot of good shit on the network. You can find them all at creativehorror.com. And, I want to thank you for listening, for commenting, for supporting this show. We literally just get together to talk shit every so often and talk about stories. And we appreciate you and hopefully enjoying what we have to offer, but also the banter. We have a pretty significant backlog. And, I'm going to stop self-promoting now, because that feels like a healthy place to stop. You know what I mean?
I'm not going to stop self-promoting. Twitch.tv/NanaZoneNeil.
Go there. Do it. I'll promote you. I don't mind.
I'm an affiliate now. So
hell yeah, dude.
You can drop a few measly dollars and get some Twitch emotes. One of them is car time. There's a car time Twitch emote. And one's just Shemp's fucking face.
You can't go wrong with Shemp's fucking face. I almost said funkin' face. The funky fresh Shemp.
Yeah, funky
Shemp
fresh
Shepherd.
Shemp face. Yeah, that's all I got.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, but Alan.
Yeah?
Elcor hug pillow when?
I feel like that'd have to be a pretty big fucking pillow.
It's very huggable.
Yeah. Elcor mattress when?
Good evening, intrepid listeners. This is the Pasta Shade, the host of Midnight Marinara, and this podcast is part of CreativeHorror.com, a network of podcasts and creators working together to build a constructive community of horror fans. For more content like this, visit us at CreativeHorror.com.